Your stock hand and foot brake on your touring motorcycle is kind of dangerous. I have two products that'll increase your safety and make you more comfortable. In this video, I'm gonna review and install Softbrake's reduced reach brake lever and their extended reach foot brake pedal. I wanna thank Rick over at Softbrake for sending me these two products so I could do a review on them. I'll leave a link down in the description if you're interested in purchasing any of these. I'll also leave links down in the description for all the tools that I use to install them. You know what time it is. Let's hop into it. Let's start off with the reduced reach brake lever. You replace your stock lever with this one. Sure, these two levers look identical, but there's a subtle difference. Rick takes the stock lever and bends it in the perfect spot to reduce the reach by 1 inch. This 1 inch makes a huge difference.
That's what she said.
With the reduced reach, the lever will be closer to your hand, and this will increase your reaction time when you have to brake. One thing I do want to mention though, this is a 1-for-1 exchange. You must send Rick back your stock lever. Don't worry, Rick makes it easy. He sends you a bubble mailer with a return label already installed. Just simply drop your lever into the mailer and put it in the mail. Now let's install this bad boy. We want to start off by removing this snap ring right here. I don't have a pair of snap ring pliers, so I'm gonna use a knife. Now to make this easier, make sure you go up on top and push the pin down. This will give you a little more clearance. Then you wedge your knife in the gap in between the snap ring and twist the knife. Now, unlike removing the clutch lever, we can't pop that pin out just yet. We have to take apart the hand controls. Don't worry, this is easy as well. We're gonna be removing these two bolts right here, and that requires a Torx bit that's a T25. I'm gonna use a 3/8 ratchet with an extension and the T25 bit to loosen these up. Now that we have both of those two bolts loose back here, we have to come to the front of the bike and loosen these two bolts right here. Typically, they're also a Torx bit, but I have a phone mount right here, so I'm gonna have to use Allen keys. Once you break that loose, make sure you put a hand on the back so that way it doesn't fall apart. We removed all those bolts, so now we can just separate the master cylinder here. And now this will give us access in order to be able to slide out this lever right here. We have this all separated. We're gonna come from the bottom here, push up on the pin, and pull it out. With that pin removed, you're able to remove the old lever. Now before we install the new lever, you have to spread some grease in the contact points so everything moves smoothly. I put grease where the pin goes through, and I put grease on the backside where it makes contact with the brake switch. Now let's install it. You're gonna take your new brake lever and put it back where the old one came out of. Make sure you line up your holes, and once you have everything lined up, you can go ahead and take your pin. You might have to wiggle it a little bit to get it in there.
That's what she said.
Boom. Now we can reconnect everything back to the handlebars. When reinstalling your master cylinder, you're gonna have a little notch right here. You wanna make sure you line that up with this little tab right here so that way everything fits perfect. The hand control is all back together. Now your last step is gonna be reinstalling the snap ring. Now we're all done. I just wanna show you the difference that this lever makes compared to the stock one. As you can see, your hand does not have to reach nearly as far. Now let's move along to the Softbrake foot pedal. The stock brake pedal on a touring Harley Davidson is at a real uncomfortable angle. Not to mention, your foot is actually sitting underneath the pedal when it's resting on the floorboard. So you literally have to lift your foot up from underneath the pedal and then hit the brake. I'm no rocket scientist, but this doesn't seem safe. With the Softbrake foot pedal, this lowers it down by 20 degrees. With this new angle, you no longer have to bring your foot up and over. It's more like pressing on a gas pedal in a car. Also, it's not at that awkward angle, so now you can be more precise when using the rear brake. That is huge for slow speed maneuvers. Now let me show you how to install this bad mamma jamma. Your first step is gonna be removing the floorboard. Simply just lift up on the floorboard, and then you're gonna take a 4.5 millimeter Allen key and a 7/16 ratchet wrench, and just take the bolts out. Now that we have the floorboard off, we have to take the brake pad off. All you need for this is a 1/2-inch wrench. What you're gonna have to do is take this nut off right here, just like so. Move the nut in the washer, and this pulls right off. Now we're gonna take a 5/8 socket on a 3/8 ratchet and remove the brake pedal lock nut. After you remove the lock nut, there's gonna be a washer, and you'll have an O-ring, and you're gonna wanna put these off to the side because we're gonna use these later. Now we're gonna use our 3/8 ratchet again, but this time with an extension and an 8mm hex bit. We have to remove these 3 bolts in order to remove the engine mount. Once you remove the last bolt, the whole assembly is going to come off here. Once you have this whole assembly removed, you're gonna have a cotter pin right here. We have to go ahead and remove that with a pair of needle nose pliers. Once the cotter pin's removed, you're gonna push out this little pin right here, but be careful because you have a washer on top and you don't wanna lose that. Once the pin's removed, whole assembly slides right off. Before we install the new brake lever, take the provided grease and we're gonna spread some on the inside of this area right here. Just take your finger and spread it around in there so that way it's all nice and smooth in there.
That's what she said.
This will make it so everything moves smoothly. Now that we have all the grease installed, you're gonna take the new pedal, slide it over the shaft, and then line up your holes with the master cylinder. Then you're gonna take your pin that you took off with the washer on it and make sure you put this side facing down, line up all your holes, and just push it in. Once you get your pin in the package, it comes with a new cotter pin, so then you're just gonna install your cotter pin. Don't forget to bend the ends. Cotter pin's all in, now just lift the entire assembly back up and line up your holes. Everything's all lined back up. Now we have to reinstall the 3 bolts that we took out. After those 3 bolts are installed, go ahead and reinstall the O-ring that you took off from before and put the washer on and the lock nut. After you get that done, the rest is simple. Go ahead and reinstall the brake pad and the floorboard. Just use the same exact steps that you used to take it off, but in reverse. Now I want to show you the major difference between the stock pedal and the Softbrake pedal. As you can tell, your foot is no longer underneath the brake pedal. Now it's a nice smooth transition to hit the brake pedal. Also, your foot isn't in that awkward angle where it's uncomfortable. The difference is night and day. If you like these 2 products from Softbrake, you're absolutely gonna love their reduced reach clutch lever. Check out this video right here and I'll show you my review and install. This is Jogo with Jogo Motorcycle Adventures, and until next time, ride on.